Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Game Week 30 deadlines. Not deadlines time. What am I talking? Game Week 30 podcast. My name is Ryan, and I'm joined by two members who are looking to wildcard. First of all, I'm joined with my co-host Roy, and I'm also joined with a guest this week, Karan. This is we're used to having like two Karans in the FPL committee, so this is the
One
other
of them.
yeah, one of them. First of all, we'll start with Roy. How are you doing, Roy?
Hello. Yeah, not bad. How are you? Can't wait for the game to start.
Indeed.
Missing the actual football.
Yep, indeed. International break is almost done. Get rid of that nonsense and let's get into the actual football. And Karan, how are you?
Oh, I've been missing football, to be honest. I'm just glad FPL is back. It's a long weekend, so really looking forward to all of it.
Awesome. All right, so basically we're going to be talking about the fixtures in Game Week 30. We're talking about the doubles that have been announced, and also we'll be looking at both of y'all's wildcard drafts and kind of like discuss for those of you on a Game Week 30 wildcard, maybe this might be very useful. So let's get started straight away. And first up, I've got this from FPL Spaceman, basically to give an idea of the fixtures in double Game Week 34, where the double Game Week 37 fixtures would look like, and also 35 or 36, we might see a double for Chelsea and Spurs. There is a very tiny possibility that it could go into 37, but it's very unlikely, just to let you guys know. So this is how the lay of the land looks like. What are your thoughts so far looking at this, and how are you guys on a wild card going to approach it? I'll start with maybe Roy.
Yeah, I think the standout is Chelsea and Spurs, right? They got two double game weeks in the later stage. I suppose if you wildcard it now, if you have those players already, then pretty much build the foundation for those two double game weeks. I mean, those two teams pretty just stands out, really.
Fair enough. And Karan?
Well, you know the jersey that I've got on, so the most excited that I was for doing a wild card, or really as soon as Game Week 29 deadline hit and the game came live again, I pressed my wildcard button just to get Darwin, Salah straight in. And I agree with Roy as well that Chelsea, Spurs, and Liverpool probably are the three teams to target. And then Newcastle, because they've got some good fixtures, and I'm sure we'll be discussing a lot more about these teams.
Yep, fair enough. Now, in terms of chips, Roy has... This is the only last chip, the wildcard left?
Nothing left.
Yep. And Karan, do you have any chips left?
I use my bench boost and triple captain, so I've got my wild card, which is active right now as we speak, and a free hit to contemplate. 34 or 37.
Okay, so you still haven't decided exactly where you're playing that free hit?
In terms of where my draft is, I'm pretty much committed to a 34 free hit.
Yep.
But then again, I'm still, again, as we speak through this this podcast, I'm sure I'll probably be learning a lot more from the two of you as well. And mostly it's 34. Maybe there's a way to go 37.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Smart man didn't use it last week.
Yeah, exactly. The two of us used our free hit last week.
I dead-ended it. I dead-ended my team, and I think I was kind of forced into a wild card this week. As much as I would have wanted 31 to have more information, etc. But yeah, I'm raring to go, man, to be honest. And I'm glad I've got my free hit, because that helps me with 34.
Yes.
With the way the fixtures have landed.
Yeah, because Spurs do blank in Game Week 34, and Chelsea play Arsenal in 34 as well, which is not as easy of a fixture for them. So I guess if you free hit in 34, you can kind of still load up on Chelsea and Spurs, but not have to worry about that very specific week.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. Let's get started. Welcome to everyone in the chat as well. And Evan, it's the deadline for the new game mode. Oh, okay. We'll talk about the new game mode as well a little bit later, Evan, when we get there as well. Anyways, let's get moving to the fixtures. Now, this is taken from Lego Mane. in terms of basically the upcoming fixtures, including European ties as well. And it's also added the double game weeks where maybe we could see 35 or 36 and the potential 37 doubles as well. The reason I picked this over Ben Craden's one for the moment is because I wanted to talk about also the Gameweek 32 and 33, where we have the likes of Arsenal and City with some tough Champions League ties as well. Especially, I would say City because of that Luton fixture that smacked right in the middle of both of the Madrid games. So a lot of managers who still have City players might be wondering, okay, do we keep City players? Do we get rid of City players? What's the story with that? How are you guys approaching that in terms of like on a wildcard as well?
Well, for me,
Here you go.
I think I've got 2 Arsenal currently on my draft and maybe 1 City. I'm still not decided whether it's Foden or Haaland. Currently in my draft, I've got Haaland, but I feel Foden can probably cover, given the form that he's been in, and given how much he has been instrumental in terms of how City play. So I'm almost swaying in favor of Foden over Haaland. And yeah, given they are still both Manchester City and Arsenal in the title contention, I still feel there's value elsewhere. So it's a tricky phase given being on a wild card. I've waited almost a week and a half, and Arsenal with the fixtures that they have with Bayern around Villa, and then almost committed to a game week 34 free hit. I feel maybe I can get rid of Gabriel, but I've got value tied in on Foden and Gabriel. So yeah, it's tricky for me. And I'm sure it's tricky for other people who are on 30 game week 30 wildcard as well.
Yeah, that's quite interesting when you say you're going to pick Foden over Haaland, because typically Haaland is quite durable. He plays regardless what the games are, whereas Foden sometimes do get rotated.
I beg to differ there, Roy, because I feel Foden, given the season that he's had, I'm sure he started every game, if not probably missed a game or
Almost.
two. Yeah. I feel he's having a breakout season this season. So yeah, Haaland, given the EO and also the impact he could have on your rank. If Haaland goes for a brace or a hat trick, I'd be struggling. So
Yeah.
I agree with where you are, but that's probably a devil's advocate opinion as well.
I guess
Yeah, he's also the FOMO as well.
yeah.
If you don't have it,
It's
and
it's
Yeah,
everyone
or you
else
need
is
a big
gonna have
couch.
them.
You need a big couch.
it's risk versus reward, right? With Haaland. Yeah.
Yep.
The one thing though is I won't be surprised if even both of them are potentially benched for that Luton game. Because City have the depth.
Yep.
Now the thing is the unlike the Arsenal fixture where they play Bayern and they have Aston Villa as well, which is a tough game as well. So they kind of need to play a full strength squad there. So the chances of Arsenal rotating is probably in the Brighton fixture. But even then, Arsenal, we've seen like Arteta, he has a core set of players which he doesn't rotate. And then it's like you get like the Gabriel Jesus, the Havertz, the Trossards. They're the ones who kind of like rotate about. So I feel like Saka will still be a player who will generally play most games.
Correct.
But will in the last few games, you've seen me getting subbed out a bit early, which I think might happen. But he'll probably play more.
Yeah, issue with Saka is he's carrying some injuries from the start of the season. He's been having the same injury. He's been playing through injuries. So I think lucky for us for the last few games when we were 5-0, 6-0, he got chance to get subbed. But his injury is still there. Which this whole pulled out from the England squad shows that he's actually still injured. Fingers crossed. I think Arteta, if he can play him, he will play him. I just really don't know how serious this injury is. Gabriel seems injured as well.
Oh,
but
I don't. That we'll have to wait and see on the press conference on that as well.
I hope those two injuries are just sort of trying to get them out of internationals. I really, really hope so. But if both of them are fit, they will play.
Yep.
Roy, just on that one, have you already hit your wildcard button, or is that
No, not yet.
Not yet. He has a
right?
draft, but he hasn't pressed the button. So we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few yellow flags flagging around. So
Yeah, I will use it because I have no choice. I do not have a choice. If I have any chance to move up, I have to use it.
and Roy, where are you ranked at the moment?
250 or something.
Something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm a bit behind, so I'm around 400k.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roy's above the both of us at the moment. I need to catch Roy in a minute.
No, we'll chase.
Yeah.
We'll keep chasing.
Yeah.
I was top 100,000 only a couple of weeks ago, I
Yeah.
think.
And then
But
it's like
yeah.
slightly gone down.
Oh, it's a game of variance. I'm sure you'll get there.
Now the other thing is now okay, that's City and Arsenal. I think City I still probably might lean towards Haaland because of like the whole EO thing and all of that. And also I just think even last season we were questioning so many times whether Haaland will get a break, will Haaland get a break, and he kind of continued to play. That's what I'm wondering. The one thing is I look at the players that I want and I find there are like a lot of options in midfield. Whereas in striker, there are a few options, but there aren't that many that where I want to really sell Haaland per se, if that makes sense.
100%.
So that's kind of where I'm at. So I've got Haaland and Foden right now, and I'm not wildcarding, but I'm probably looking to be selling Foden this week to try and get like a Palmer in. Is where I'm at. So, and that's also because I just think the Arsenal game is tough. Then Aston Villa after that, I'm like, I mean, Foden could do well in both games. It's very possible, but I'm willing to take on that risk of it being a tough game. And then you get to the 32 and 33 fixtures, which is before the Madrid game and in middle of the Madrid game, and then I go, okay.
And Palace is a bogey team for City.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, history says that. So
I'm wondering, like, can I take Foden on in terms of that? Is what I'm thinking.
That's exactly the logic I'm applying towards Haaland. But I mean, I still have Haaland in my draft.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I don't have value tied up in Foden per se, so that's why
I've got heaps of value, and that's exactly the conundrum I'm facing.
Yeah,
so,
but on Haaland I do have value, so that's that. I'm not looking to get rid. Okay, now apart from those two teams, let me switch to the fixtures for this week to get a better idea of stuff. Now on the left, we've been using this table of trying to see whether teams that have whether they meet their XG. So usually Rob T does a table of like XG plots on Twitter, and I don't think he's done one so far for this week. I will have a look, but he has. Speak of the devil, half an hour before this, let me bring this up. This is live editing, people. This is what I do, live editing. All right, let me bring this because this will help us to talk about the upcoming week. So basically, I use the left is basically the XG they actually got, and the right in the brackets is the predicted XG. So we're trying to keep track of like to see whether teams actually meet the XG or whether they underperform the XG. So if it's green, it means they met it. If it's yellow, they were kind of close. If it's red, they basically underperformed. So teams like Brighton, as you can see, have just continually underperformed. Wolves have continually underperformed. Who has actually like decently performed? I guess Forest to an extent. Spurs, yes, because yes, Spurs, Fulham, they continuously overperform the XG. So I guess that's one way of looking in terms of like teams you're trying to target for attack wise. Maybe a good kind of model. At least we're trying to build something. We'll see whether it's worth it in the next couple of weeks as well, and whether they can tell us something. But yeah, so that's what we're at in terms of the one thing you probably need to take into context is the fixtures. This doesn't tell you what fixture they were playing per se, but it's just an idea to see whether they meet the market predicted XG. That's basically.
But this is a very interesting sort of chart. I'm an accountant by trade, but just looking at Arsenal Gameweek 27,
Yes.
I know he's predicted 2.9,
Oh, yeah,
but they still get
almost close. Yeah,
2.47.
that's pretty. You
Do you know
should
what I
be
mean?
out.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
it's
that's a
still a
good standout.
red,
yeah.
but
I know.
it's
I had
still
to. I had
pretty
to.
good.
I know. It's pretty good.
I
Yeah,
would take a 2.47 xg every week of the day, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I had to
Every day
apply
of the week, I mean.
some level of like this thing like distance because there are teams like Bournemouth 1.4 for predicted 1.8. You're like,
But what would be
yeah.
useful is you have game week 30's
Yes.
forecast
Yep.
XG.
Yeah, we do.
If you still have that there, it actually tells you, okay, well, Newcastle is forecast to score 2 or 3 goals
Yep.
rather than, you
So-
know what I mean, Bournemouth is 1.
Yeah. So now let's go to Newcastle's. Like this is the fixtures, like for this week.
Yeah.
Now the teams that stand out here are Chelsea, Liverpool, and Spurs. And then you have Newcastle there, but
And
still,
Villa.
and Villa, and I'm still
Yeah.
questioning Newcastle. I don't know what to what extent they are that improved,
I
but
think it's a fixtures play, Roy, and Ryan, because if you're thinking of a wild card and if you think of an entry point to certain teams, I feel this is the week for Chelsea, Liverpool, probably Newcastle, and that's again something to contemplate around Villa, because if something if a wild card is to be played, you probably think Douglas Luiz um, and Watkins would be higher owned on the game week 29 squads. And going to game week 30, you're probably getting rid of them. But to see them that they've got a 2.1 XG, it kind of worries me against Wolves at home. But it's almost where the second half of the season has been about getting rid of good players for good players. So it's kind of that play.
yes, you could wait as well on Watkins. So I had today like a couple of hours ago in the evening, I recorded a video with Sam from FPL Family for Fantasy Football Scout. She's also on a Game Week 30 wildcard, but she's looking to keep Watkins this week and sell him next week for Darwin Nunes. So that's just another possible play.
Yeah, that is again something I'm considering. But again, waiting on Haaland for one more week.
Yeah.
Given
okay.
that he's got Arsenal, maybe hold Watkins and then have enough money to get Haaland in next week. That's some play you can go for. But yes, I get where Sam is at.
Yeah. So we'll start with the first fixture: Newcastle versus West Ham. Both of you are on a wild card. Are you looking at Newcastle players, Roy?
No, not at all. They are going through some really, really tough times inside the club, and they're just not doing well, to be honest. I think the dressing room is a bit shattered as well. Quite demotivated from some podcasts I listened to. Yeah, they're not tracking well, but I think they're on the way up though. I think they recovered pretty well last week, and
The fixtures are better going forward.
are better, but it's pretty much there's nothing to play for. It's like
Probably, yeah.
what we're gonna do next season, and who they're gonna sell because of all those fair play sort of regulations. They will sell players. They're gonna have to sell players, and all those players are really thinking about what I'm gonna do really in the future. Yeah, this is a tricky one.
West Ham though, West Ham, do they have anything to play for? I guess you could say
I
European
think they
spots.
probably have a top 6, top 7 kind of a thing.
Yeah. West Ham also improved a bit.
Just on Newcastle, Ryan, I think as much as I agree with Roy around the shape of the club right now, the morale that's there in the dressing room, but I still feel there's goals in them. So if someone gets Gordon or Isak on a good run of fixtures, I still feel there's an upside play there. So just those two players I want to focus on, while defense is probably in a disarray. So I wouldn't really heavily, as much as Lascelles is becoming a golden nugget for a free hitter or a wild carder like me. I still feel attack is where Newcastle is going to be good at.
Agree.
Yeah, agree. So I think Isak and Gordon most likely players to target, especially like even after 34, they have like really good fixtures. And then the double in 37, obviously. Bournemouth versus Everton. Now, A lot of people still probably have Solanke. Are you guys keeping Solanke on a wild card, or are
I
you?
don't think I'll be owning him for the rest of the season, to be honest. There's a lot of good forwards. Like, yeah, there's at least five or six, and probably Solanke is maybe seventh or eighth in that sheet for me.
Ooh, interesting.
In my draft, I'm keeping him for
Yeah.
now because he's
Ah,
double game
interesting.
week coming up. So, and he's not expensive.
And then I've got a free hit for that double game week, so I would
Yeah, so
definitely have him on free at 34.
yeah, so that's I guess that's the differences in the play. So Roy, this is the only chip left. He doesn't have the free hit, so he has to. You can't say. I guess that's where you guys two both differ, because you can target players around the double.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking what's before and after 34,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But Roy has to consider 34 as well in the in the wild card.
Correct.
So are you guys looking at any other, or Roy, are you looking at any other Bournemouth players as well, or just Sri Lanka for now?
No, never.
Okay,
No.
fine.
After last week, no.
Fair enough.
I mean, what do you both think of people that have wildcarded a bit earlier, say maybe 28,
Yes, which
and
there might
they
be people
didn't play a
injured.
free hit,
Yeah.
and they still have triple Bournemouth?
I mean,
Well,
I'm not worried. I have Solanke. I'm not worried about other Bournemouth players, because for example, let me just go back to the doubles. Bournemouth have, where are Bournemouth? Okay, here they go. They got Aston Villa and Wolves in 34.
both away though.
Yes, both away. From a defensive point of view, I don't have any Bournemouth defense. I don't think they're keeping a clean sheet in either game, most
Yeah, I
likely.
agree. I agree.
If I was to want another Bournemouth player, I think it would be Semenyo, and that's basically it.
Yeah, but there's a problem of plenty, right, in midfield and forwards.
Yeah. So I've got Solanke. I'm just happy with Solanke. I don't really want anyone else.
It's a good shout. I mean,
yeah.
Solanke is on penalties as well.
Yeah.
So
The Luton fixture though is nice, I would say. But that's also a way, and we know Luton at home are a different team compared to on the road.
Yep. The next 3 games are pretty good for them.
Yes.
So if you still have Bournemouth players, you can afford to keep them and slowly recycle them out.
Yes,
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Solanke gets a penalty or two over the next 4 fixtures and kind of matches Isak or Darwin Núñez, or because Darwin could have the odd benching. So I can see where there's a consolidation play there.
I think Solanke has to be considered slightly different to the rest of the Bournemouth players. I feel like Solanke is like on that same pedestal of like us comparing all the other forwards in FPL bar, let's say, Haaland. Because everyone else is on like very similar projected scores, I would say. Potentially.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I put Solanke in the same bracket because the fixtures are good, end of the day. So we kind of expect him to do well.
I think there's a bit of recency bias that's making people kick Solanke out of their teams. So if you're holding Solanke, I think it's fair play to you.
Yeah. And FPL Freddy has like triple Bournemouth defense. Triple Bournemouth players. He's got Neto, Zabani, and Solanke. So he's got double Bournemouth defense, which could be good for the next couple of weeks, but probably not in the double.
Yeah.
So you probably make your gains before the double. That's probably where I would look at. All right, now Chelsea. Now, apart from Cole Palmer, who else can you get from Chelsea? I will add to this that a certain Reece James is apparently back. For how long? Don't ask me, because Reece James fitness, they were a good combination. But
is he back on grass though?
That is a very good question. I did not read that. I just saw he was back.
Yeah, I mean, and Roy, I'm not sure where your draft is, but I've got Gusto as a part of my draft. It's a value addition to my team where I see that even if I get 2 or 3 fixtures over the next 5 with him, and then if I have to bench him for this latter half of the next 8 fixtures, I see the upside because Gusto has been fairly attacking, and Chelsea, when they have been attacking, Gusto is kind of making inroads towards the right wing. So, and Reece James, you never know if he's got a long-term injury, he might be slowly and steadily coming back into the team's playing 11. I think Reece James has been very fragile this season.
No, I totally agree. I got Gusto as well. No, even Rhys James is back. I just don't think he's going to play the wing back. He might play the center defense.
That's
Maybe.
possible.
Are they doing the 3-5-2 at the moment?
Yeah, almost.
Almost, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Chilwell's pretty much bombing on the left flank as well lately,
yeah. So I
even for
mean,
England.
Chilwell is more expensive, right? So Gusto probably is the better option. If you got money, Chilwell
Yeah,
will
there's
be a
no
good
clean sheets
option.
anyway for them. I still don't I still don't see clean sheets for them.
Yeah.
As
Well,
much as the fixtures
this
are
game
there,
though
yeah, as
has
much
to
as
be a
fixtures
clean
are
sheet,
there,
sure.
I've got double Chelsea defense in my draft, so I would hope.
I mean, they're projected to have the best chance of a clean sheet this week. But with Burnley's recent Fofana scoring record, I don't know. You never know with
Well,
Chelsea.
just noticing Sheffield have a 1.15 xg and Burnley have a 0.85 xg. I don't know where these odds are coming from.
We'll talk about that later. Anyways, so Chelsea, is Palmer and Gusto the only options, or
I think so.
Mm.
I believe
What do you
so.
guys think of Petrovic?
as a goalkeeper option?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have him.
given the fixtures, double game weeks,
Yeah, I don't think it's too bad because you have the potential double in 35 or 36, one of the two,
and 37.
and 37. And for those of you who might still have a bench boost as well, could be another player as well, because people who are, let's say, wildcarding and want to bench boost in 37, I think Petrovic is not a bad shot for goal.
And people who are bench boosting in 34,
Yeah.
I think the two options that come as a second goalkeeper are Dubravka and Kelleher. But both of them, I don't know where Nick Pope is or where Allison is in terms of coming back. So that's exactly where my head is at in terms of my second goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have a bench boost, I still want to ensure that, my second goalkeeper still is available for good fixtures. And those two being the second goalkeeper kind of makes me a bit vulnerable in terms of the strength of the squad that I could have. So just want to flag with people that we don't know where Pope and Allison are in terms of coming back. Both are said to be coming back in April, and April could be as soon as game week 34, I think.
We skipped past Everton, but would Pickford be another goalkeeper option?
I think Everton defense is something to consider, either Branthwaite or Pickford, especially those on wildcard. I wouldn't make a transfer per se for a defender or a keeper, but if you're on a wildcard, I would say Pickford, because Everton, we've seen that, given that they're still fighting for survival to a certain extent, we know that they can park the bus pretty well.
Okay, so Roy, one of your keepers, Petrovic for now.
Yeah, I'm basically putting all my eggs in one basket at the moment. So
All right.
I got no money for anyone else. The
Yeah, fair
goalkeeper.
enough. Now, Forest play Crystal Palace. Now, obviously, Forest, let me just go back to their fixtures for a second, just to kind of show. Their fixtures are Crystal Palace's fixtures. Forest, Bournemouth, then City, Liverpool, tough ones there, and then West Ham, Newcastle in the double, which is not too bad, I would say, because they're two home games for Crystal Palace. What are your thoughts on Palace players?
I think it's a good double game week for them.
Roy is like,
I just think there are better options out there. I mean,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Karan is on the free hit 34, so he's like, yep.
Yeah, I don't want to rub it in, guys, but I feel there's points to be had with probably a Munoz or however the defender's name is pronounced, and maybe an Olise or an Eze if they're fit in 34.
Yeah,
I see there's two home fixtures. Newcastle concede for good, and even West Ham. Yeah, probably they're gonna be on the beach if not for the chasing the 7th spot. I see there's goals for them. So yeah, I mean, still a bit of 3 weeks to go at least.
Yeah, I will also add, people are like, for those who are weak on funds, Mateta as a 4.9 striker option, I think. I've seen a few people who are on a dead ending in 34 solution and wildcard 35, where they're trying to fund Salah back in, and this is another possible way as well, I would say.
I mean, just on Mateta, I don't want to digress, but let's compare Mateta versus Muniz. What our thoughts are in terms of Crystal Palace and Fulham's fixtures. They've got a really good run for the next couple of game weeks.
Hmm.
And Fulham play Newcastle at home in 32. So I'm almost of the opinion that Muniz might be a better shout than Mateta.
100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be true. Even
Because
though
they
he
play,
has like one
because
less
I
game.
think,
Yeah.
but I think Palace play City and Liverpool back to back.
Yes. Yes. So Muniz
And
might
that's,
actually be a better play.
yeah, that's where I'm of the opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Muniz could be the better play. And then if you want in 34, people can make the switch to you could actually people in 34 could make the switch to either a double game week player, or you could also make the switch to depending on the
Cunha?
funds. Yeah, Cunha is also a possibility. The Wolves striker. I know
Yep.
Roy had Cunha before as well, and was just getting points with him when he was fit. So Cunha is also not a bad shot. The other thing is you don't necessarily have to go for a double game week striker in 34. You could go for like a single that has like Hoyland has, I think, Sheffield United in 34. You could just make that one transfer slightly earlier.
Or is it 35? Or is it 30? I think
No,
or
United
30,
play Sheffield United in 34.
34. Okay.
Yeah, so you
that's
could even make
interesting.
that 1 week transfer. It's not a double game week player, but it's still a single game week player with a good fixture. And if we've seen anything from the last couple double game weeks, is that the single game week players shouldn't be ignored.
Yep, 100%.
Agree.
Burnt my hands twice, so
Yeah. So that is a play. Muniz, like you mentioned, good fixtures, better team, could do well. Which leads us to actually Fulham, who have a 1.95 xg predicted for this week. So obviously Muniz is top of the cards. Robinson, for anyone who has him. I know Quinton, FPL Amateurs of us.
he's a Muniz advocate.
He's a closet Fulham fan. I called him this time because he advocates for Muniz and
He
Fulham.
actually coaxed me so much to get Muniz instead of Tony on a hit, and I still went Tony because it was the birthday thing. And guess
And
what
Muniz,
happened?
yeah, I know Muniz
Tony
scored.
blanked and Muniz got a goal. So
Yeah. So like you mentioned, could be a play. Roy, thoughts? Fulham?
Yes, Muniz is the one to look out for, and or the Fulham goalkeeper if you want the second keeper. Leno is a good shout.
Yep, fair enough. Yes, that's actually not too bad. But the price is the one thing I'm kind of worried about with Leno. He is a bit of expensive. Then I would also add Robinson from fullback. But again, yeah, if you're looking for defenders, you're probably looking for longer term options. So probably not Robinson. All right. Spurs versus Luton. Again, Spurs with a massive XG. Will they turn up? Will they disappoint?
They're gonna have to turn up for this game. They will win.
I hope
especially
so.
after the last game week,
Yeah,
the way they played against Fulham, I'm sure there's a rebound coming.
Now Richarlison could potentially also feature in this game, maybe. I think is it Roy who has Richarlison or Karan? Karan, you have Richarlison in your draft.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's between Richarlison and Foden, and maybe if it's Foden, I need more money, so there's a couple of compromises elsewhere.
Yep.
But it's a genuine conversation because given the free hit in 34 where Spurs blank, I think Richarlison has a point to prove still, and Spurs actually have a point to prove still. Given the fixtures ahead and after, even if the fixtures after 34 are quite tough for Spurs, they still know how to score goals, right? So I feel a double Spurs attack because I don't think many people on Wildcard right now are going to have a double Spurs attack.
No, from people I've spoken, it's one Spurs attack at least, and maybe one Spurs defense. Although
yeah, and I think that's where if Spurs are to score goals and if Richarlison gets back into the centre forward position, I think there's probably an upside play again with Richarlison. And with the likes of Arsenal and Man City, given the goals they love to score, there's probably going to be rotation with the Champions League fixtures for the two of those teams. So if we look elsewhere, I think Spurs is definitely a team to target, given the free hit in 34 again.
Yeah, and here I am looking to potentially sell Son next week because I need to buy Salah, and there goes my Spurs attack. So this is the interesting part with this, like the leftover fixtures, is because there's so many different possibilities for chips and everything.
And I think the fixture, I think between the three of us as well,
Yeah.
the kind of chips you have in hand, even though I've used my bench boost already and my triple captain already, holding that free hit, and against the two of you where you both have used your free hit last week, I think there's such a variety of gameplay that's going to take place in the next eight game weeks.
Yeah, because you're looking at double Spurs attack. Roy's looking at potentially one Spurs attack, maybe one Spurs defense.
Yes.
I'm looking at offloading my only Spurs attack next week.
Yep.
So this is where the gains and losses are going to be made, because we're all making these calls that could backfire, could go our way, and anything can happen. But then that's the good thing, because it's so open, like that there is no this is the right path to take kind of season. Like usually in the past seasons, it's kind of been like, it's been so obvious to play certain chips in certain weeks. But this season is like, at least the remaining couple weeks, it looks like anything is possible.
100%.
So that's the good option. Now, defense, would you guys go Porro or Udogi?
I'll let you go first, Roy.
There's no real difference between these two. I went for Udogi because it's cheaper.
Yep,
I went for Udogi because he's cheaper, and given that Maddison's back. Given, prior to Maddison being back when he was injured, I think Porro was just bombing forward. And I had Porro throughout that run. But now that Maddison's back, there was a couple of games where I actually saw, from an eye test perspective and from a stats perspective, that Udogi was getting into the box more often, and Porro was more of the assister to the assister. And that's where I feel Maddison's back and just got a point to prove. Maybe the top 4, if not top 6. And Udogi is probably going to be the better play. And again, the 0.8 or 0.9 million of a difference as well that plays for Porro's disadvantage.
Yep, fair enough. I think the price is a massive thing as well, to be honest, given that we're trying to get like various expensive players in midfield and attack. But yeah, I do agree that the chances of Udogi getting a goal is at the moment higher than the chances of Porro getting a goal. Just because he's ending up in the box more, Udogi.
Yep.
One thing that John in the chat has mentioned is Romero. Now, set pieces wise, he's a good option this week. But going forward, apart from that, I don't know. I think maybe still I would probably go for the fullbacks.
I feel the chances of clean sheets, regardless of whichever team you pick the defenders from, right? I'm almost taking clean sheets as the bonus for the rest of the season, and I think that's where the upside comes in with the wing backs. So, I mean, Romero, Gabriel could in a certain game week score more points than say a Ben White or an Udogi or a Porro, but I think it's just the narrative you want to take the side of.
Yeah, fair enough. And also, obviously, Romero has that red card in him, so keep that in mind. A possible red card always. All right.
Yep.
Now, Aston Villa versus Wolves. This was a question that was asked in the chat as well. Would Watkins not continue to deliver in the tough fixtures? Now, obviously, tough fixtures are coming for Aston Villa. And obviously, Watkins is currently the highest FPL point scorer in the game. And here we are looking to potentially get rid of the highest FPL point scorer in the game. Where Aston Villa play Wolves, then they play City, then they go against Brentford, European fixtures in the middle, and Arsenal as well in all of that. Then 34 Bournemouth, 35 they got Chelsea, 36 Brighton, but by that time I think we might have all sold Watkins. So Watkins sell, buy, hold for another week.
Yeah, I'll go first, I suppose. For me, is the money. If I want to get Haaland, Salah, and Son in the same team, it's impossible for me to keep Watkins.
And have Saka as well, I should add.
As Saka. So I tried a few times. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And looking at their fixture, especially towards the end.
Yeah. Hard.
is not that favorable. They still got to play Arsenal, still got to play City, Chelsea, Liverpool,
Yep.
even Brighton. So I kind of make a decision that, well, that's a risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take.
Fair enough.
I second Roy in terms of the risk that you're willing to take, and that's where I'm at because there's so many options. But in terms of getting rid of Watkins, I'm still on the fence. Because if you look at the home fixtures, Ryan, there's Wolves, there's Brentford, there's Bournemouth, Chelsea, and Liverpool. Including Liverpool, each of those teams have a goal or two to concede,
Yes, I would agree.
especially
But
away. And apart from the Man City fixture, and we know Edison, he loves an 89th minute goal to concede. So I feel and Aston Villa have a fair bit of things to play, right? In the season, they're still competing for top four with Spurs. If not for Watkins, who's going to score goals for them? So I think there's goals. But again, fixtures play and double game weeks, etc., make me want to sell Watkins. I'm still on the fence. I know it can backfire.
I still think Watkins, like you mentioned, will continue to score goals. I won't be surprised if there are another 3 double-digit figures in there.
4 goals, I think. Yeah, easy 4 goals.
3 or 4 goals in there. So at least minimum 10 pointers in like 4 games in there.
I agree.
Within now till the end of the season, which you probably have to kind of accept that it's kind of going to happen, and you just have to hope that the player that you get in can either match him or outscore him in that tiny period.
Yeah.
That's
because once he's gone, I mean, on my wild card, if it's Haaland, he's not. Watkins is not coming back for the rest of the season.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So you just kind of have to hope and kind of just accept the fact that once you sell, he's gone.
Yeah. I'm hoping
Agreed.
Emery just do his usual stuff and kind of towards the end of the season just go a bit downhill.
Yep.
I'm just hoping.
Fair
But I don't want Spurs to finish fourth, so
tough position to be in here. Don't worry, United will have to hopefully navigate through it. What do you call FPL Freddy says Watkins going out in 31 for Salah because need the cash. That's probably the same situation for me as well.
I think a lot of us are going to be in that position.
Yeah.
Fair shout, Freddy.
All right, now Wolves on the other hand, good fixtures from 31 onwards to like at least 34. They've got Wolves, Burnley, West Ham, Forest, and then they got the double, which is Arsenal, Bournemouth, and in 35 they have Luton as well. So until at least 35, the fixtures are decent apart from that Arsenal fixture. I'll start with maybe Roy.
Yeah.
Are you looking at a certain Cunha back again, or for a second stint in your team? Or any other
No, not at the moment. I have the one defender, Nuri.
Yes, that's a good option.
I have him.
Yep.
But my attacking and midfield are pretty stacked, so there's no room for anyone. Cunha is a good shout, but at the moment, do you know what? I might change my mind. So Cunha is a good option.
Yeah. All right. I mean, you don't even have to get him this week as well. You could probably go for him next week as well. Depends on you, for some, like, again, depends on how the strikers you line up with. You could even start with Watkins for this week and then go Cunha next week as well. That's also another possibility in terms of a play.
Yeah, Ryan, I think you brought Mateta forward, right, as an option.
Yeah.
I think given Muniz, Mateta, and Cunha, I would say Muniz and Cunha are better options than Mateta, given the goal scoring form that we've seen from Wolves when Cunha plays, and also with Fulham. So just for people who are wanting to wildcard or having a cheaper option as a forward, maybe Cunha and Muniz are better play.
Yep, fair enough. Cool. And obviously Nuri, good fullback, very attacking.
He's been playing a free role lately, given the injuries that they've had.
Yeah,
100%. So he's an exciting prospect.
Yep. Now Brentford versus United. I do not know what to expect from this game.
And we should be asking you about this fixture.
Which is why I'm saying I do not know what to expect from this game. I will tell you, I have Garnacho and I'm looking to start Garnacho this week. Mainly from a differential point of view. And I do expect goals. I won't be surprised if the odds, United do meet the odds that I expected. I don't know if they have a history of meeting the odds that I expected. Where are United? No, they have a history of kind of underperforming the odds that I expected, except for the last game. So I don't know. Maybe they might meet it.
Given their win, sorry, Ryan, sorry to interrupt. Given their win against Liverpool in the FA Cup, what do you think? Is that a turnaround? Do you
I
see
think
them performing
that was
better?
more due to the fact that we got our players back. So
And
with,
the players are still fit, right?
yes,
So
yes,
you would
yes.
probably continue that trend.
Yes, we expect to. At least Hoyland should be like, he is a key missing player that, like, when he's playing, it helps the attack a lot, significantly be improved. So I do expect them to kind of continue that trend in attack. Defense, on the other hand, defense is a bit of a questionable one because they have the ability to keep a clean sheet. And which is where I think, like, for those, I know on a wildcard, Onana is not a bad option for a keeper as well, I would add. As another keeper, obviously the doubles in 37 isn't the best, but it's not a bad option. He's, I think, the highest points for a goalkeeper this season as well, which is shockingly.
Yep.
But
But would you keep that on a bench boost? I mean, if people don't have a bench boost anymore, like
yeah,
myself,
yeah.
would you still say Onana is a good option, or would you say
No, then I
go
would go
somewhere else?
I would probably go Petrovic, probably.
Yep. Yeah.
Because of the extra double.
Yep.
But for those who have a bench boost, then I would probably go Onana.
Agree.
That's where I'm at. And then I guess defense, not now, but later down, I guess Dalot will be someone to consider. But even then, I might still prefer double attack over double defense.
Agree. And Garnacho is a good choice.
Yes, and a good enabler.
He's cheap.
Yep.
And so, I mean, Hoyland probably is a good option too, certain games.
I think Game Week 35 wildcarders, Roy, I'm sure, are going to be stacking up on triple Man United.
I will be all over that Hoyland train. Game Week 35. So yeah, I think Game Week 35 will see a lot of Hoyland, but not now. But he's a good option.
Yeah, it also depends on from this point to that point how many games.
That's a difference. Yeah, so
Ten Hag might get sacked before then, so who knows?
He's not getting sacked, right? Don't worry. But yeah, but we'll talk about them more come like Game Week 35 at that point. Now Liverpool, 2.65 xG. I'll come to Karan on this one. Where are you with, like, how many Liverpool players are you looking at?
Oh, you got to have a triple up if you're on a wild card.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as free hit 34 makes you question the defender pick.
Yeah.
But I think 2 home games in the next 2 fixtures, there's certainly 1 clean sheet at least, if not 2.
Yeah.
If only I had the money, I would have gone Van Dijk as a defender. But again, money is going towards the attack. I feel Darwin and Salah, given Salah's comeback, in the fixtures last week or the week before, I see it's a no-brainer. Darwin, again, an XG underperformer. I'm sure he's become a lot of a meme material for a lot of us. But there's going to be games where he's going to really punch above his XG, and we're going to be laughing. So I feel, as much as it's not coming from the jersey that I'm wearing, but Darwin, I've seen him play as a neutral as much as I've seen him play as a Liverpool fan. And I think Darwin and Salah are a no-brainer on a wildcard right now. And Roy could be differing with me, but I'm happy to stand on the Darwin fence.
Defense? Before I go to Roy?
I would say
Bradley,
Bradley or Kelleher.
Okay.
Depending on what kind of defense situation are you in. I would have loved to have gone Bradley, but I want to keep that Newcastle spot open instead of going Dubravka. So I would say Kelleher is a better pick, even though Kelleher becomes dead after a couple of weeks when Alisson comes back.
Yep. Okay, Roy, go ahead.
So I've got 2 Liverpool players in my team. I'm not going to go 3 because this is my sort of last chance, and I'm being a bit conservative. And Liverpool, they've been sort of winning games, but right on the edge. The emotions is running pretty high in that team. I think if Salah plays, he's got more chance than Darwin Núñez. I think if Salah doesn't play, Darwin Núñez get more chances and more shots. But when Salah does play, Salah kind of takes all the chances. In comparison, I mean, not saying Darwin's not going to get any chance at all. He might just be Salah assist and Darwin score. It could happen, but I just need to balance my team. Try not to put all the eggs in one basket. So I think it's a good shout, but I'm just trying to be a bit sensible with just 2 Liverpool players at the moment.
Fair enough. Like, because I will, Karan, before you get in, I will add, this is mentioned by FPL Freddy in the chat, Darwin is on 8 yellows. So that is something to keep an eye on, because 10 yellow cards and then it's a suspension for one game.
10 yellow cards and you bring Højlund in Gameweek 33.
Yeah, fair enough.
Højlund plays Bournemouth, then
Sheffield
3 hit
United.
34 for me, and Sheffield United 34, and he's got a good run of fixtures for the rest of the season. So my exit plan for Darwin, in case that happens, and that's the reason why I didn't go with Nicholas Jackson for Chelsea as my third striker, was because Nicholas Jackson, I think, is on 9 yellow cards already.
Think so, yes.
Yeah, so given that Darwin's on 8 yellow cards, say he's got 3 or 4 more fixtures to go, he might be benched in one of them because it's a quick turnaround. Even 20 minutes with Darwin is a good enough, situation of the 4 fixtures. So I'm saying if Darwin gets banned or suspended, there's an exit route for me. So that's where my head is at.
Fair enough. Anyone considering now McAllister or Luis Diaz as options?
I'd love to go Luis Diaz, to be honest. I would really love to go Luis Diaz because I'm not sure if a lot of us watched that game where he was just running on the wing, and I think was it against Man City? Probably against Man City, where he pocketed Rodri and Kyle Walker. And I was like, geez, this guy can play. And even in the internationals for Colombia, he's been playing very well. So, and like Roy mentioned, the emotions are running quite high in the Liverpool camp right now. So they've got a lot of reason to play for. As much as it can be a double-edged sword at times. But I think given the kind of mind frame they're in, there's a lot. I mean, I would love to have Van Dijk in my squad. If I had more midfield spots, I'd probably go Luis Diaz. So I'm enjoying the rest of the remaining of the season for this year.
They'll be coming for revenge in Gameweek 32 against United.
I've got my fingers crossed because the thing is we don't want to drop points.
Yeah, so that's go ahead, Roy.
I'll be rooting for United.
Same. We'll see. Should be a very interesting game. From a attacking point of view,
we should do a meetup that week.
Oh no! I will be. I do not know if I'll be a very friendly person. I'm like no. But I think that's a very late game. But anyways, we'll see. That's something to ask about from Mira. Now, I am considering Kelleher for a hit potentially this week. Just because I've got Areola and Dubravka, and I'm like, I don't think they're keeping clean sheets anytime soon. Now, obviously, there is the whole Alisson potentially coming back. I don't know when though, which is why
Alisson's got a hamstring injury, so I would say, and he's potentially flagged for a return to come back in April.
Yeah,
now, that's the last we've heard about Alisson. So April could be early April, mid-April, late April.
Yep.
We did hear that he's not played the last game under Klopp. I mean, at least from the journalists. So I would suggest, even if Alisson's to come back, it might be after 34, 35.
Which is fine.
And if you've got a wild card around that time, maybe there's an upside play for you, Ryan.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because I want a Liverpool defender. Now, the thing is, Bradley has the upside, but Trent could come back sooner than Alisson, which is why I was pushed towards the whole Kelleher move. But yesterday, Robertson got injured in international break. Now, does that bring Tsimikas as an option, or do we think Joe Gomez is going to play that left back spot?
I personally feel Gomez is a better shout for Klopp, given that he's got the sturdity or the sturdiness. Also, that when Tsimikas got injured against the game against Arsenal, since then he's never played for Liverpool. And as much as he's a good deputy to Robertson, I feel the match fitness might be a question with Tsimikas. So I personally feel Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk, and Joe Gomez might be the back four, with Bradley again bombing forward.
Yeah.
So if someone's looking for Bradley as a punt for the next couple of home games, I don't think that's a bad shout.
Really, Trent was out until like game week 34. Unfortunately, not. I think, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Ryan, you
hit-
just
free hit
convinced me
34.
to get Callagher as my second keeper.
Oh, I did. Okay, so there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Because I want a Liverpool defender. I just don't know which one, and I feel like Kelleher might be the play just because of the fact that between him and Bradley, now I don't have a free hit, so I can't. I kind of have to take a punt somewhere and hope that the
Yep.
guy plays in game week 34.
I've got Kelleher in my
Yeah.
draft, as you would know. So
So okay,
not a bad shot.
cool. The final game, the big one, City versus Arsenal. Roy,
Yeah, we're gonna win.
fair enough.
Arsenal
They have already
win,
beaten
1-0.
City.
Love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it as a neutral.
Now 1-0 is what you're saying, or
Yeah, 1 or 2 nils.
okay? So I've got triple Arsenal at the moment. Odegaard, Saka, and Gabriel. I am looking to bench Odegaard, but I'll start Saka and Gabriel. And the reasoning behind that is the Odegaard one I'm benching for Garnacho. I feel like it's very close between those two in terms of like expected points. I'm willing to take that gamble. Saka on pens can get a goal anytime if he's fit, which I think he might be fit potentially. We've seen Arteta play Saka through a lot of injuries. Gabriel, the thing with Gabriel is, I feel like even if Arsenal were to concede, there's always the chance of Gabriel scoring from set piece.
Yep.
And that's the one reason, and also because given my defense is actually pretty bad. There aren't that many good options because I don't have. I have Pedro Porro, Gabriel, and I'm looking to start Branthwaite this week because I have Doughty on the bench and I have Reguilon on the bench. So I'm kind of like I have to play him.
Brian, picture this: Saka's corner,
Yeah.
Gabriel's header,
Yeah.
1-0
I'll
victory.
take it.
Both get bonus, and
I'll
you're
take it.
laughing.
Exactly. So I'm here for it. But even if they do concede, I think Gabriel, I'll treat him as an attacking defender at this point.
I think
Like I
Arsenal
said, clean sheets are a bonus, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, 100%.
Roy, you go first. Sorry.
We're a changed team. I think we're much more prepared this year than last year against City, and we haven't lost to City this year yet. So,
and you can see from Arsenal, they're much more galvanized since that previous international break that they had. I think they went to Dubai or Saudi Arabia or wherever, and since then they're a different squad. They're scoring goals for fun. I see a lot of purpose and intent, and as much as it is a risk to Liverpool's title contention or title chances, I see it's definitely a 3-horse race right now, and Arsenal are probably the stronger of the three.
Yes, I would probably agree. I think Arsenal have been the team more in form recently. Now, before we go to the next one, I have a few questions on the chat. So first is from Will Shaw, who's first time here. So welcome, Will. And he's basically asked, what do you think of getting Maddison on a wildcard just for Luton, saving money for Salah in 31, then flipping for 33 or 35 free hit? Sorry, 33 or 35. And then free hit 34, he says. Okay,
well,
so
I don't mind that.
Yeah,
I don't mind that option. I've got two Spurs attackers in my wildcard 30 draft right now.
Yeah.
So I've got Richarlison and Son, but I totally get the point of Maddison instead of Richarlison maybe, or even for Son.
Yeah, not Salah in 31, it's Saka in 31, my bad. So not get Saka this week because he has City.
Saka's.
Yeah.
I mean, most of us wildcarders are still benching Saka this week, as much as it might bite us back, but there's better 7 forwards than Saka this week for the fixture play.
Would you so between Maddison and Richarlison, who would you all prefer?
Oh, 100% Maddison, I think, for me.
Ooh.
I would like to differ again with Roy, and I love how this conversation is working out this afternoon or this evening, because I feel Richarlison's got more goals, Maddison's probably got more assists in him, and
Who's
I could
got
be
more
wrong.
Minutes potentially.
Maddison.
Yeah.
Maddison.
Okay. So it's a flip of a coin there. in terms of that.
Yeah.
But don't forget that Spurs score majority of the goals in the last 9-10 minutes, right, of the game.
Yeah, that's also true. Roy, you were going to say something?
Oh, no. I was just going to say hi to Will. I think
Okay.
Will's brother play in the same club as me.
Okay. Welcome, Will. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, Will, while you're here. So yeah, okay. Hopefully that answers your question. And then John mentioned that Salah has been finding those through balls. Surely Diaz is bound to return on one of them with Salah. Maybe. Or maybe it's Darwin on the end of those through balls. Cool. All right. Now, before we end, this is just a table that I've continued to update it in terms of when you can play your chips. I haven't highlighted the free hit or the triple captain because I feel like it's a plate depending on your other chips situation. And obviously wildcard 30-31 is the current scenario for a lot of managers, and dead end in either 30 or 34 is where a lot of people are at. Any thoughts on like chips? Well, I guess you guys are kind of, it's obviously mentioned of like where you're playing your chips, so I guess I'll continue to the next one. But yeah, cool. Now team attack, last 6 game weeks, Liverpool top of the league in terms of that. Arsenal just behind, City close behind, and Bournemouth and United. See, I told you United slowly getting up in terms of attack. Fulham also there, which we've seen from the table that we've just been tracking in terms of like trying to meet the XG. Fulham are up there. Villa and Spurs next. And at the bottom, we got Sheffield United, Burnley. Wolves are at the bottom. Now this I would
Newcastle,
contribute.
wow.
Yes, and Newcastle as well. I would contribute towards their. I would contribute Wolves' lack of attack towards their injuries recently. I would probably add this too. So maybe maybe with Cunha back, it slightly gets better. But still, obviously, Hwang and Neto, we need to kind of monitor them as well just to see. But that's one thing to consider. Newcastle. This is why I feel like the Newcastle one, I'm a bit uncertain on Isaac. I am not really.
Ryan, what's this table sorted by? Is it sorted
by minutes per XG?
Right.
Yeah. So that way, even though they played an extra game, if teams have played an extra game, it doesn't matter.
But in terms of the number of goals scored, they've still got more goals. So
yes, there's
low XG chances getting converted. Yeah.
Yep. That's true. Because look at that delta, 5.2. They are overperforming as crazy.
Gosh.
Yeah. Because
it's almost double the expected goals.
So they're not supposed to be. I think this is mostly due to Gordon, if I'm not mistaken. It could be due to Anthony Gordon.
Them and Arsenal. Look at Arsenal performing their over XG by 10.6.
Yes, Arsenal. I would put that down to certain Declan Rice having improved, now doing set pieces and becoming the next David Beckham in terms of his set piece delivery. But yeah,
that's funny because Arsenal got 19 assists and 23 goals, and they're second on this table.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that it's the numbers that they're supposed to be meeting, they're going way above that. But then I would also put that recently to the couple of 5-0 hammer-ins that they gave a few teams recently. So that also contributes towards it.
When talking about Arsenal, Havertz actually is a good option if you can't afford.
He's a very good punt. Very, very good punt.
Yes, I would. I have Odegaard now. I have done a plan where I'm like, I move across and I end up in 34 with like a free transfer, and I might even potentially switch Odegaard to like a Havertz.
That's not a bad shot.
Because I was thinking, Havertz against Chelsea, his former team. Something is like written in the stars for the guy to go and score against his former team. But we'll see.
Definitely a narrative.
Yeah, it depends on like whether Gabriel Jesus is playing back full fit and firing, all of that. But yeah, not a bad option. So yeah, that's the attack. Defense, Arsenal up there in a different league of their own. Brighton, second best defense, interestingly. So maybe a challenge for Liverpool. This is why I'm kind of hoping I can hold off on Salah for one more week, for one more game week. But I don't know. We'll see. City third, Crystal Palace. This is why I was like wondering that I was telling like the 34 fixture is not too bad. They have like their defense is good, especially at home. And then Forest is up there, Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea, and then at the bottom you got Luton, Sheffield United, You have United as well, Manchester United at the bottom in terms of defense. Brentford, Burnley, and West Ham. Thoughts? Defensive table last 6 game weeks?
That's pretty interesting that United is the bottom 3.
Yeah, I think that will improve slightly. It's mostly due to injuries. I would put that down to.
And Brighton playing against Liverpool in this game week, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I think Palace and Brighton stand out from a wildcard perspective.
Yep, fair enough. And Palace, I think, have Forest this week. Not a bad fixture as well, to be honest. For clean sheet perspective. Cool. So this is my team from Game Week 28 because Game Week 29 I played the free hit, so there's no point. So the only thing that's changing is Odegaard is probably getting benched. Foden might move for a Palmer. And then I have to kind of wait and see what Klopp says on his press conference before I decide on what Liverpool defender I go for. Because I want at least one Liverpool player this week. Even though we saw Brighton as top of the defense, their attack is like mid-table if you look at it. So I'm happy to go for like a Liverpool defense this week, even if it's for like a hit. Most likely Kelleher because I don't trust my goalkeepers. That's probably where I'm
fair
at.
shot. Fair shot. I mean, you'll probably recover those 4 points over the next 3 game weeks, I would assume.
I hope so. We'll see.
At least the next 2 game weeks, yeah.
And then captaincy is a very interesting one because I have either Son or Palmer as options for me, but we'll get to it after we discuss the two of y'all in terms of wildcard. This is Roy's current draft. He's got Ortega in there, Petrovic.
That's going to be Kelleher now.
That's going to be Kelleher. So Kelleher and Petrovic in the goal. He's got Gabriel, Bradley, Udogi, Gusto, and Ed Nouri attacking defenders in his backline. Foden, Saka, Palmer, Salah, Son, Solanke, Muniz, and Haaland.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
That's pretty much it for me.
There's a lot of players I'm considering there. Question to you is, who are you benching this week?
I haven't even thought about that, to be honest. I haven't even thought about it.
I think, you probably bench Ent Nouri for one.
Probably Gabriel, maybe, because you're playing double Man City attack.
Yeah, probably Gabriel. And
which attacker are you benching? Because I wouldn't be benching Muniz or Solanke on that draft.
Okay. This was the question. Here we go. This was the question I forgot to ask you guys, which was from John earlier. He has Watkins, Muniz, and Haaland as his front line. Which two would you start this week? I guess you can replace Watkins.
Oh my goodness!
Muniz and Haaland is my choice.
In your case, I understand Muniz and Haaland, but if you had Watkins,
bench a midfielder. Bench a midfielder.
What if you had a midfield like this? Okay, maybe let's say you replace Foden with maybe Richarlison or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so say you've got Saka away, and you've got Haaland at home. As much as I appreciate I love Arsenal's defense, to be honest. That they're probably the best defensive team right now in the whole league. But I'd still bench Saka and play Haaland, given that he's at Etihad.
Yeah, I probably might do that. Yeah, that was a part of my consideration. If I was in one situation, I was able to afford Salah, but then the price rose, so now I'm out of budget. But in that situation, I was looking at benching Saka. Yes.
I would second that.
I did this whole thing an hour before this podcast.
Yeah, so fair enough. So Roy has to think.
I will think about it. Thanks.
Yeah. Anything that could change, Roy, or still? Maybe.
Actually, I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Are you starting Petrovic or Kelleher this week? If you've got Petrovic and Kelleher, because that's what I've got in my draft, and it's a bit of a conundrum for me.
Let's go to
Chelsea playing again.
Chelsea are playing Burnley.
So you've got double defense against Burnley, or
Petrovic for sure.
Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, current Petrovic and Kelleher in goal. Lascelles, Gusto, Dogi, Branthwaite, and Gabriel in defense. Salah, Palmer, Richarlison, Son, and Saka. And then Darwin, Haaland, and Isaac. Now, who are you benching in terms of your attack?
Unfortunately, if I'm sticking to Haaland in the front three,
Yeah.
I'm benching Saka. And again, problem of plenty in my front eight. Sticking to the home fixtures. So Liverpool play Brighton at home, Palmer against Burnley at home, Richarlison Son against Luton at home, Isak against West Ham at home, and Haaland against Chelsea at home. Oh, sorry, Arsenal at home. So home fixtures are probably the upside play for me there.
Hmm.
A bit of, I think I'm 80% there with my draft here. Two things that I want to ensure, but I'm not yet sure of. One is the Liverpool defense. Like you, I also want to have some Liverpool defender in there. It could be Bradley instead of Brathwaite. It could be Gallagher, or it could be Van Dijk. Could be Van Dijk if I decide to go Garnacho instead of Richarlison.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering where you can get the money. Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 million of Richarlison and Branthwaite up to Garnacho. Sorry, Branthwaite up to Van Dijk. Because I feel Van Dijk's probably the most secured.
Yes.
But given that I've still got free hit 34, I'm thinking I can pick a Liverpool defender of my choice in 34.
Yeah. You could
And
even go
after that,
Trent
I
later.
have to offload anyway.
Yeah.
So, and the other reason why I haven't gone Dubravka is because I want to keep that midfielder spot open for Gordon in game week 34 or 35.
Yep. Fair enough.
So, and one of the two forwards apart from Haaland could become Hoyland in game week 35 or 33. So,
Yep.
Gordon and Hoyland are my two midfield and forward spots to eye for.
Yep.
And if I could have another Liverpool spot or maybe more money, I would go Van Dijk in the defense. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty well thought of, I think. Is have three Spurs players. That would be my concern, not because I'm an Arsenal fan, but anyway, I mean, it could happen.
But he's
They're
free-hitting
very
34.
unpredictable.
Yeah.
Very, very unpredictable.
I think because you're free hit 34, you don't have to. You can load up on them, I guess, which is what you kind of done on Chelsea and Spurs. I don't mind it, to be honest. Who are you missing out? I guess
Watkins?
no.
Foden?
Watkins is just 1 week, right?
Foden,
So
yeah.
Foden, even I'm most likely looking to sell Foden. And if I stick to my narrative that I built in my head of like tough fixtures at the start and then 2 easy fixtures, but then Champions League that he might get rotated, then I guess it's fine.
Yeah, if only I had the balls to play against Haaland, to be honest. I would I would just not go Haaland and get Foden in my midfield to cover for him. But yeah, Haaland being Haaland, I think I don't have that big of a couch.
Fair enough. Yeah, so I think Haaland is still a good option, like to have. I think I would only go without Haaland if anyone's like past 1 million rank, then I would risk it. Anyone in the top 1 million, I think I wouldn't risk it as much. Depends on where how close you are to the top 1 million. Like, if you're more towards 1 million, I would risk it. If you're closer towards like top 500k, I wouldn't risk it because even one hat trick and your rank just doubles.
Okay, just the question for the both of you.
Yeah.
There's a few EO players here, right? There's Haaland, there's Saka, there's Gabriel.
Yes.
Especially for Roy. Roy, would you go without an Arsenal defender? Say if I was to replace Gabriel with an Ait Nouri, for example. Given that I have a free hit for 34 and I could get the Arsenal players of my choice in 34.
Yep.
Do you think that's craziness or do you think there's logic to that madness?
Just considering Arsenal's defense record for the last few games, people might say you're crazy because we keep clean sheet and Gabriel can score goals.
Yep, and that's why I'm holding on to him. I've got value tied in as well, so
yeah. So I think I will keep him.
One
No,
question.
it's great.
Only if his injury is serious.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm glad I've got some validation from you as an Arsenal supporter.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask is Kivio, I think it's 4.4 or something.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
How long is Zinchenko going to be?
Is a question for Teta, but
yeah,
from what he actually liked Kirill playing that position.
Yeah, that's why.
He's more secure. We're more secure with him in the back four.
Yeah.
Zinchenko will be like an impact.
Yeah.
sub in the second half. If we were behind or something, we'll try to change the game, he will play. But I can't really see him coming in anytime soon because Kiro's been doing very, very well.
Yeah,
Mm.
Arsenal defense is sturdy, quite robust.
I'm just looking at like a value option. Could be a really good and very attacking as well. He's been getting decent returns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he is a good option, but he's
Yeah.
not going to score headers from
Yeah, he's not.
cornerstone.
But
Roy, from an Arsenal perspective, who are your top 4, top 5 picks? I would say Havertz, Saka, Gabriel, Saliba, maybe Odegaard. Sixth would be probably
Ben
Raya.
White, Ben White.
Ben White. Yeah, so I think in the pecking order, Kiwior still is probably 6th or 7th, right?
But he's cheap.
that's the thing. The budget
he's
is
Yeah,
cheap.
true.
Yeah.
True.
Everyone else is like 5 million and above for defense. He's so affordable. That's the one thing that I was thinking about. Something to think about later. Anyways.
Yeah, value for money. If
Yeah.
you want 3 Arsenal players, he will be a good choice.
Yeah. Fair enough. Cool. That's basically what we've got. So let's kind of like, I'll quickly, before we end it, panel team. I kind of need y'all's assistance on this panel team. So panel team at the moment, let me load it on. Yep, okay, it's there. So panel team has used its free hit. It probably needs to bring in Salah and Palmer this week, most likely, since it doesn't have Heung-min Son as well. The only thing is, I think it probably needs a Gameweek 31 wildcard. Maybe.
What's the rank? For the panel team?
239k. It's actually better than all of us. This is the team we use for risk, funnily enough, and risky wise, it's kind of like going well.
Well, if you're talking risk, why not take a -8 and avoid the wild card?
Yeah, that's also
in 31.
possible. Yeah.
Get rid of Robertson for maybe, a Bradley, if that's something that makes sense. Upgrade Foden to a Salah, and let's see what money we are falling short of.
So if you do Foden to Salah, and let's say you want Bradley as well for Robertson, I mean we have plenty of money.
And you can play a 3-4-3 with that.
Yes.
So you could play Moreno, Gabriel, Doughty. Sorry, not Doughty. Bradley, and
would remove Barkley as well for Palmer. I don't mind that against Burnley this week.
Yeah,
the only reason why I thought we need a defender transfer is because Estupinian's got Liverpool.
Yes.
Doughty is injured.
Yeah, so you play Moreno, Gabriel, and Bradley this week.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe get rid of Barkley.
And Villa play Wolves at home, so it's a good shout, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you've almost gotten near to a wildcard squad, maybe barring 3 or 4 further
the
transfers.
Villa players eventually have to move out, but yeah.
Yep.
But you don't have to get rid of Barkley, right? You don't have to.
No, don't really have to. But would you like to get Palmer in this week against Burnley?
I think so.
Yeah, I suppose. Then who's going to put on the bench? Bailey?
That's
because minutes, right?
Yeah.
Or then do we just get rid of Leon Bay instead? Because he doesn't play that many minutes.
Who's cheaper?
Barkley. So keep Barkley. But fixtures-wise, Ross Barkley has horrible fixtures. So maybe
get rid of Barkley. Get rid of Barkley, maybe.
Yeah.
And bring in Palmer.
Yeah, I agree.
Who?
I'd go -8. Save the wild card. What other chips do we have with the
bench boost? So I think this will bench boost in like 37 even if we're going to save the wild card.
Yeah, I think so. All
right, let's make these moves. Or do we wait for Klopp to tell us something about Trent and Salah before we do those moves?
I think Trent still has 3 more weeks to go. So Trent might be back for 32, if not 33.
Okay, that's not too bad. Then
we've got 30 and 31, 2 really good home fixtures for Bradley, and Bradley could get the attacking return as well, right?
Yeah, true. Okay, we'll make those moves then. Captaincy.
Don't blame me for this.
Nah, don't worry. Captaincy. Who would you captain this week?
I'm
Salah,
listening to you
Palmer,
both.
If you had Son.
Palmer is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's something about Palmer. There's something about Palmer this season.
I think it's between one of Salah, Palmer, and Son, but no Son in this team. So between Palmer and Salah, I think Palmer is the differential captain this week, definitely.
And given that you showed me that Brighton are in the top 2 or top 3 defenses in the last 6, maybe
it's
Palmer's
the
a better
case.
shout.
Yeah, probably. Okay, we'll put it on Palmer in this team and see how it goes.
Taking the risk, right?
I know.
Against EO of Salah and Son.
Yeah, but that's why this team was created. For us to be able to the guts.
Still doing better than us, Ryan.
I know. So this team was created so that we could make moves on this team, which we didn't have the guts to do on our own teams. It's kind of doing really well. So
yeah, if it wasn't my team, I would definitely go Palmer captain.
Yeah. So okay, we'll end it with this. But thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Will has replied back, Roy, and he basically said Alex is my brother.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Roy, are you rise and shine? I guess that's with regards to your FPL team. Yes, he is. Yes.
Yes.
And he's also subscribed on 2 devices. So thank you to Will as well. So make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to Karan as well for appearing as a guest this week. We'll probably look to get you on sometime later as well. Maybe free hit 34 potentially. I don't know. I'll let you know. Or some other week. And shout out to Roy as well. Good luck to both of you on your wildcards. Anything else to add before we end?
Now, great chatting with you both, Ryan. Nice to meet you, Roy. And thanks everyone for watching. Do give us a follow. I'm on Twitter, Karan_FPL. And always happy to have a chat around FPL. So yeah, learning with you guys and more green arrows to every one of us.
Awesome.
Yep, thank you. Can't wait for Arsenal win.
Indeed, we'll wait and see that. And obviously, the new FPL Challenge game mode is also out. I'll put the link for the mini league for that if anyone who's willing to play in the description as well. And thank you all for watching. See you all for the deadline stream. And hit the like, subscribe, and peace out, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.